Before we dive in, drop a quick hi in the comments. It may seem small, but trust me, it really helps YouTube share this story with more sci-fi fans like us. I'd love to see who's watching.
Lieutenant Arvin Dagmar had been drifting through the outer veil for 16 days when the universe changed its mind. Standard patrol, deep scan, Concorde probe sweeps, keep quiet, stay dark, don't die. The TDS Wraith ran silent, reactor throttled to minimum, air recycled to the taste of metal, the kind of mission where boredom was the goal. Dagmar preferred boredom. Then, 9 hours into sensor silence, every comm channel exploded at once. No hail, no warning, just signal. Not from the Wraith, from everywhere. The voice was smooth, diplomatic, multi-species synthesis, the kind used for formal Concorde proceedings. People of Earth, Mars, Ceres, all human settlements across the Sol system. The galactic concord of sovereign systems brings revelation. Dagmar's fingers stopped halfway to the mute button. Genetic analysis conducted over the past 4 months has yielded irrefutable conclusion. Your species carries biological markers identical to the architect civilization. Linguistic structures, neural patterns, cultural logic frameworks. The evidence is absolute. A pause. You are the chosen species, rightful heirs to the architect legacy, descendants of those who seeded this galaxy with order and defenses millennia ago. Another pause. In accordance with Concord Treaty, Article 94, Subsection 12, verification protocols for architect bloodline authorization have been transmitted to all dormant networks as of this transmission. Dagmar felt his stomach drop. May you inherit wisely. The channel cut. Silence for exactly 11 seconds. Then Dagmar's sensor board lit up like a star-going nova. 12 contacts, 8 million kilometers out, crescent-shaped, 8 meters long each, moving fast, all of them heading in system. Dagmar counted to 3, checked the signatures again, ran thermal analysis. No fusion trails, no chemical burns, no visible propulsion. They were just moving. He opened the comm to his bridge crew. 4 people. All awake now. Contact, 12 unknowns, vector, toward inner system. Propulsion unidentified. His sensor officer responded without looking up. Classification? None on record. Threat assessment? Dagmar watched the contacts accelerate. No delay, no buildup. Instant velocity change. Unknown. Sending warn packet to Ceres. He typed 13 words into the tight beam transmitter. 13 words to cross 800 million kilometers. 12 unknown contacts inbound from outer veil. Stop unidentified propulsion. Stop Dagmar. He hit send. Then he watched the crescents move. They passed the TDS Wraith without slowing. Didn't even register his ship. Dagmar felt relief for 6 seconds. Then he realized they weren't hunting him. They were hunting everything else. Ceres Station smelled like recycled air and welding slag. Commander Matthias Korf stood in the command center with a coffee bulb in his prosthetic hand. The station rotated slow enough to simulate 0.18 gravities, just enough to keep fluids from pooling in the wrong places. The Concorde broadcast had played twice already, looped on every monitor across the station. Korf had listened once. That was enough. Chosen species. Architect legacy. Verification protocols transmitted. He didn't believe in coincidences. Didn't believe in gifts from species that had ignored humanity for 2 centuries. The Concorde showed up with genetic evidence and formal declarations right when tensions were highest. Right when the Thalok Empire kept probing human-controlled asteroid zones. Right when Vrathari hive ships started showing up unannounced in neutral space. It smelled like setup. Korf was reaching for the comms panel when the tight beam from Dagmar arrived. 12 unknown contacts inbound from outer veil. Stop unidentified propulsion. Stop Dagmar. He read it twice. Dagmar didn't waste words. If he said 12, it was 12. If he said unknown, he meant it. Korf hit the station-wide alert. Alarms didn't scream on series. They pulsed. Low frequency. Felt more than heard. Everyone knew what it meant. Chief Warrant Officer Oscar Runn was elbow-deep in Railgun Battery 7 when the pulse hit. He didn't stop working, just hummed louder. The railgun's capacitor array needed recalibration. 17% voltage drop over the last 2 weeks. Not critical. Not yet. But Runn didn't wait for critical. He pulled the access panel, checked the magnetic coil alignment, made an adjustment with a torque wrench. The pulse came again. Runn glanced at his wrist display. General alert. No specifics. He kept working. Battery 7 was his favorite. He'd named it Hana after his sister. She'd died in the Mars Rebellion. Took a railgun slug through the chest during the Olympus Mons siege. Runn figured she'd appreciate the irony. He was tightening the last bolt when proximity alarms screamed. 3 contacts, 6,000 kilometers out. Crescent-shaped. Runn looked up just as the first one fired. No warning. No hail. No posturing. Just fire. A lance of light crossed 6,000 kilometers in 4 seconds. Battery 3 evaporated. 43 people gone. Runn didn't think, just moved. He slammed the manual override on Battery 7. No targeting computer, no fire control, just raw magnetic acceleration and a joystick older than he was. The railgun swiveled. Runn eyeballed the angle, watched the contacts move. They weren't dodging, weren't evading. They didn't think Ceres could hurt them. Runn fired. The slug left the rails at 40 kilometers per second. Tungsten carbide. 200 kilograms. Dumb as a rock and twice as mean. It hit the lead crescent dead center. The thing came apart in a flash of light and debris. Runn allowed himself 2 seconds of satisfaction. Then the other 2 crescents stopped moving predictably. They juked, spun, repositioned in ways that didn't follow momentum. Runn fired again. Missed. The crescents adapted. Korf watched the tactical display from command. 8 railgun batteries online, 16 missile pods, 40-point defense turrets, all of them firing. The 2 remaining crescents moved like they knew what was coming. Battery 6 fired. The crescent dodged left. Battery 9 fired. The crescent rolled vertical. Missiles launched in spread patterns. The crescents burned through countermeasures and kept coming. One of them fired again. Battery 5 went dark. 16 dead. Korf's jaw tightened. Whatever these things were, they learned. Every shot, every pattern, every tactic. They adapted faster than humans could adjust. All batteries, randomize fire intervals, no predictable patterns, coordinate through local nodes only. His tactical officer repeated the order across the defense grid. The crescent slowed their approach. Calculating. Korf used the time. Recall all outer patrols. Everyone inside the Ceres defense perimeter within the hour. No exceptions. He turned to his sensor chief. Young kid. Barely 23. Kamal. Indonesian. Whispered when he talked. Kamal. Those things transmitting? Kamal didn't look up from his board. His fingers moved across the interface like he was playing an instrument. Yes, sir. Quantum band. Encrypted. To each other? No, sir. Korf leaned closer. Then who? Kamal pulled up a trajectory map. Drew a line from the crescents outward. The line stretched into the Kuiper belt. 65 AU from Seoul. The deep scan took 6 minutes to resolve. Korf stood behind Kamal's station and watched the image build pixel by pixel. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't a station. It was a moon. 3,400 kilometers in diameter, pocked with craters, dotted with structures that looked like cities. Kamal's readout scrolled data faster than Korf could process. Energy signature. Massive. Heat bloom. Extreme. Manufacturing bay. Active. What's it building? Kamal's voice dropped even lower. More of them. The display updated. showed launch trajectories. 200 new contacts leaving the surface every 6 hours. Crescents, all of them heading in system. Korf felt the numbers stack up in his head. 200 every 6 hours, 4,800 per day, 33,000 per week. Ceres had 47 combat vessels, 8 orbital platforms, 340,000 personnel. They'd be overrun in 72 hours. He was opening his mouth to issue evacuation protocols when the second alarm hit. FTL signatures. Jupiter orbit, 87 contacts dropping out of jump space. Korf's display shifted, showed the new arrivals in clean formation. 4 species. Unified deployment. Thalok dreadnoughts. Vrathari carrier fortresses. Kalorn cruisers. Merzan destroyer squadrons. The Concord Armada. They didn't hail. They just broadcast. The voice was avian. Shrieks layered under mechanical translation. Thalok. War Principal Texacal. Korf didn't speak Thalok. Had to wait for the linguistics AI to parse it. The translation came through 10 seconds later. Architect defenses active. Humanity responsible. Galaxy now threatened. Surrender enables efficient termination. Resistance guarantees prolonged extinction. Korf read it twice. Felt the trap close. They did this. The Concord activated the protocols. Framed humanity. Now every species in the galaxy thought Earth triggered a galaxy-wide threat. And the Architect machines were making it worse. Killing everything that wasn't human. Proving the Concord's point with every drone launched. Korf looked at the tactical display. Crescents inbound from the outer veil. Nexus Fortress manufacturing thousands more. Concord Armada moving in system. 2 fronts. 1 extinction. His comm officer's voice cut through the command center. Sir, receiving distress signals from Mars. Neptune Station. Ganymede Outpost. All reporting Crescent contacts. Korf didn't answer. Just watched the display update. 30 contacts now. 50. 80. The machines were waking up everywhere, and the Concord was coming to finish what they started. Run's voice crackled over the station-wide comm from Battery 7. Orders, Commander? Korf didn't hesitate. Get me firing solutions on everything. Pause. Sir, everything includes the drones. I know. They're supposed to be protecting us. Korf's eyes didn't leave the display. They're killing everyone else. That makes us the target. Silence on the line. Then Run's voice came back. Calm. Almost amused. Firing solutions on everything. Acknowledged. Korf stood in the command center and watched the galaxy close in. No FTL. No shields. No allies. Just railguns and spite. He'd fought worse odds. Once. 20 years ago during the Mars Rebellion when 15,000 miners held Olympus Mons against a corporate fleet for 9 weeks. They'd lost, but they'd made it expensive. Korf intended to do the same. The Concord wanted humanity dead before the Architect machines finished sterilizing the galaxy. Fine. He'd make them work for it. The tactical display updated again. More crescents. More Concord ships adjusting burn vectors. Korf took a sip of cold coffee and started counting ammunition. Captain Leon Voros had 11 minutes to evacuate the Mars settlement before it stopped existing. He knew this because his helmet display counted down in red. 11 minutes. 15 Reaver drones had appeared over Mars 30 seconds ago. Quantum tunneled in. No warning. They opened fire immediately. The eastern habitat dome cracked like an egg. Atmosphere vented in a white plume visible from orbit. 300 people inside. Gone in 8 seconds. Voros didn't watch, just moved. Strike team, evac protocol. Civilians to transport bay. Move now. His squad spread through the western corridors. 40 Marines, standard loadout, railgun rifles, breach charges, armor rated for vacuum. Not rated for whatever the drones were using. Corporal Weiss took point. Hungarian kid. 24, fast runner. A drone fired through the station hull. Coherent energy beam. Punched through 6 bulkheads. Hit Weiss center mass. He didn't scream, just stopped being there. Voros kept moving. 900 people lived on Olympus Mons. Miners mostly, engineers, a few families. The transport bay held capacity for 200. Do the math. Voros reached the bay. Civilians flooding in. Panicked. Shoving. He fired a 3-round burst into the ceiling. Everyone stopped. First shuttle loads now. No bags. No cargo. Bodies only. You don't fit. You wait for the second run. There wouldn't be a second run. Everyone knew it. They loaded anyway. Voros counted heads. 140, 150, 160. The station shook. Another hull breach. Another dome gone. His helmet display updated. 8 minutes. Seal it. Launch now. The shuttle pilot hesitated. Sir, we can fit 30 more. Launch or die here. Choose. The hatch sealed. The shuttle burned hard. Cleared the bay in 40 seconds. Voros turned to the remaining crowd. 600 faces. Second shuttle in 6 minutes. We hold until then. They knew he was lying. Stayed quiet anyway. A drone punched through the bay's outer wall. Crescent-shaped. 8 meters long. Sleek. It rotated. Targeted the crowd. Voros put himself between them and it. Raised his rifle. Fired. Tungsten rounds sparked off the drone's hull. No penetration. It fired back. The beam missed Voros by 30 centimeters. Hit Sergeant Okonkwo behind him. She dropped without a sound. Voros fired again. Entire magazine. 40 rounds. The drone adapted. Rolled. Dodged 19 shots. Then his rifle clicked empty. The drone targeted him. Private Ruiz threw a breach charge. It stuck to the drone's midsection. Magnetically locked. Detonated. The blast knocked Voros flat. His ears rang. Couldn't hear anything. The drone listed. Damaged. Losing altitude. It fired twice more. Killed 6 civilians. Then crashed into the deck plating. Voros got up. Checked his squad. 17 left, out of 40. His helmet display blinked. 4 minutes. The second shuttle wasn't coming. He grabbed the nearest Marine, pointed at the downed drone. Strip that thing. Get the reactor core. Anything useful. Then he opened the station-wide comm. All personnel. Bay 3. Now. We're leaving on whatever flies. They cobbled together 3 maintenance skiffs, meant for 2 people each. Stripped the cargo racks. Mag-locked 40 people to the hulls. Not safe. Not rated for atmospheric exit. Didn't matter. Voros sealed his helmet, checked the straps on the nearest civilian. Old man. Miner. Hands shaking. Don't let go. The man nodded. Voros hit the bay door release. Atmosphere vented. The skiffs launched on chemical thrusters. Barely enough delta V to clear Martian gravity. Halfway up, Voros looked back. Olympus Mons station collapsed. The central hub buckled. Domes imploded one by one. 600 people still inside. His helmet display stopped counting. Lieutenant Arvin Dagmar watched the Merzan destroyer from 800,000 kilometers out. The Wraith drifted silent. Passive sensors only. No active scans. The destroyer was running dark. No transponder, no navigation lights. Fusion reactor throttled low. It had broken formation from the Concorde Armada 12 hours ago, slipped away during a fleet repositioning burn. Nobody seemed to notice. Dagmar noticed. He'd received Corf's recall order 6 hours ago, returned to Ceres, consolidate defensive perimeter. Standard procedure. Dagmar ignored it. The Merzan ship was transmitting, tight beam, directional, toward Earth. Not a weapon, not a threat. A message. Dagmar's comm officer was a Finnish woman named Hala, 40 years old, 15 years in signals intelligence. Can you decrypt it? Hala didn't look up. It's Merzan depthcast encryption, military grade. I'd need 3 weeks and a supercomputer. Guess. She paused, ran her fingers over the interface. It's repeating, same packet every 90 seconds. Short, maybe 200 words total. Content? No idea, but it's not a firing solution, not targeting data. The syntax structure reads like, A warning. Dagmar leaned back, counted his options. Follow orders, return to Ceres, rejoin the fleet, or stay, watch, learn why a Merzan destroyer was talking to Earth. He made the call. Maintain silent running, track that ship. I want to know where it goes. Commander Matthias Korf stood in Ceres Command Center and read casualty reports. Mars, Olympus Mons Station destroyed, estimated 600 dead, 140 evacuated. Ganymede Outpost, no contact. Presumed lost. Population 230. Neptune Relay, offline. Crew complement 18. Status unknown. Titan Mining Platform, structural failure. 89 confirmed dead. Total, 12,000 dead in 6 hours. Korf set the datapad down. Around him, the command center hummed. Officers at stations. Screens showing tactical overlays. The steady pulse of a military installation under threat. He pulled up the fleet status. 47 combat vessels. 8 orbital platforms. Consolidated around Ceres and Earth. The Concorde Armada sat at Jupiter orbit. 87 ships. Holding position. Not advancing. Not retreating. Just waiting. Korf understood why. They didn't need to rush. Humanity was being framed for genocide. Every hour, more Reaver drones woke up. More Sentinel platforms activated. More Architect weapons came online. And every hour, those weapons killed anything non-human within range. His tactical officer approached. Lieutenant Obed Shar, Moroccan, spoke 4 languages, never smiled. Commander, the fleet's asking for orders. Korf looked at the display. 2 fights. 1 enemy in front, 1 enemy behind. He couldn't win both. Had to choose. Pull all vessels inside Ceres perimeter, defensive posture. We hold here. And the Concorde? Let them come. Shar hesitated. Sir, if we consolidate here, we give up Mars. Titan. The outer colonies. They're already gone. Shar didn't argue, just nodded. Korf turned back to the display, choosing which fight to lose. Chief Warrant Officer Oscar Runn knelt beside the wreckage of the Reaver drone. It had taken 6 hours to recover. Mag locked to Ceres hull. Radiation hot. Half melted. But intact enough. Runn worked methodically. Cutting torch. Pry bar. Magnetic extractor. The drone's outer hull was composite. Some kind of polymer ceramic hybrid. Light. Durable. Self-repairing. He peeled it back. Inside, a maze of conduits. Power relays. Quantum processors. And a transmitter. Still active. Runn pulled it free, held it up to the light. It pulsed. Faint. Rhythmic. Not transmitting. Receiving. He ran a frequency analyzer. Traced the signal origin. Kuiper Belt. 65 AU out. The Nexus Fortress. Runn understood immediately. The drones weren't independent. Weren't thinking for themselves. They were puppets. Kill the fortress. The drones go stupid. He stood. Carried the transmitter to Korf's office. Didn't knock. Just walked in. Korf looked up from his desk. Runn set the transmitter down. The drones are remote-controlled. Kill the source, they stop. Korf picked up the transmitter. Studied it. You're sure? Positive. They're receiving commands every 6 seconds. Without it, they reboot. Takes 47 seconds. Korf set it down. We killed the fortress. The Concorde still comes. Yes. We survived the Concorde. More Architect networks wake up. Yes. Korf leaned back. Looked at the ceiling. Runn waited. Finally, Korf spoke. How many drones active right now? 80. Another 200 launching every 6 hours. How long until we're overrun? 72 hours. Korf nodded. Stood. Then, we kill the fortress first. Captain Leon Voros walked into Ceres Command Center covered in ash and blood. His armor was scorched, helmet cracked, left gauntlet missing. He'd made it off Mars with 17 Marines and 140 civilians, out of 40 Marines and 900 civilians. Korf looked at him. How many? 17 made it, out of 40. Korf nodded, turned back to the tactical display. Voros didn't ask for orders, just stood there. The command center hummed around them, officers working, screens updating. Outside, the galaxy closed in. Finally, Voros spoke. "What do we hit first?" Korf's prosthetic hand tapped the Nexus Fortress location on the display. 65 AU out, moon-sized, manufacturing 200 drones every 6 hours. We kill the factory before it buries us. Voros studied the display, ran the numbers in his head. 65 AU, no FTL. Fastest human ship made 0.02 C. Travel time, 16 days. He looked at Korf. "We don't have 16 days." "I know. Then how?" Korf pulled up a ship roster, scrolled through, stopped on one entry. TDS Cairo. Troop transport. Reinforced hull. Atmospheric entry rated. We don't fly there. We throw you. Voros understood. Railgun launch. Accelerate the Cairo to 0.1 C. Coast ballistic. Hit the fortress in 3 days. Suicide run. He nodded. When do we leave? 18 hours. Runs retrofitting the Cairo now. Armor plating. Breaching charges. Everything you need to crack that fortress open. Voros looked at the display one more time. Moon-sized target. 200 drones launching every 6 hours. Adaptive AI defenses. 17 Marines. He almost laughed. We'll need more explosives. Korf allowed himself a grim smile. Runs aware. Chief Warrant Officer Oscar Runn worked fast, because time wasn't a luxury anymore. The TDS Cairo sat in Ceres maintenance bay with her guts exposed, hull panels removed, reactor core accessible, cargo hold stripped bare. Runn loved this ship, had flown on her twice. Good bones. Solid engineering. Now he was turning her into a missile. He welded reinforced plating to the bow, double-layered composite, designed to survive impacts that would vaporize normal hulls. Behind him, his engineering crew hauled shaped charges into the cargo bay, breaching explosives, each one capable of punching through 30 meters of hardened alloy. They loaded 40. Runn did the math. 40 charges times 30 meters penetration, 1,200 meters of cutting power. The Nexus Fortress was 3,400 kilometers in diameter. Insufficient. Laughably insufficient. But it would have to be enough. Runn stepped back, studied his work. The Cairo looked like a battering ram wrapped in armor plating and explosives. Ugly, functional, deadly. His kind of engineering. Captain Voros appeared at the bay entrance, 17 Marines behind him, each one carrying full combat loadout, railgun rifles, sidearms, enough ammunition to fight a small war, which was exactly what they were about to do. Runn wiped his hands on a rag. She's ready. Reinforced bow plating, 40 breaching charges in the hold, reactor's been modified for overburn. You'll get 0.1 C, but the cooling system will fail after 6 hours. Voros looked at the Cairo, then at Runn. 6 hours enough? You'll hit the fortress in 3 days. Plenty of time. And the railgun launch? Runn pointed to the massive magnetic accelerator mounted to Ceres' outer hull, 4 kilometers long, capable of accelerating objects to velocities that made physics uncomfortable. We fire you like a bullet. 40 G acceleration for 90 seconds. After that, you coast. 40 Gs. The Cairo's hull can take it. You might not enjoy it. Voros almost smiled. We've had worse. Runn didn't argue, just handed him a data slate. Fortress schematics. Best guess based on what we pulled from the drone wreckage. Manufacturing bay is here. He pointed. Kill that. You stop the production line. How do we get inside? You don't. You crash through the outer shell and breach from the inside. The Cairo's bow plating should survive initial impact. After that, it's your problem. Voros studied the schematics, committed them to memory. Estimated defenses? Unknown, but assume everything wants you dead. Solid assumption. Run extended his hand. Voros shook it. Don't waste it, Captain. Wouldn't dream of it. Voros turned to his Marines. Load up. We launch in 90 minutes. They filed into the Cairo without ceremony. No speeches. No farewells. Just soldiers walking into a mission they wouldn't walk back from. Ruan watched them go, then returned to his tools. Still had work to do. Lieutenant Arvin Dagmar made contact 18 hours after he started tracking the Merzan destroyer. The ship had stopped transmitting, started broadcasting on open channels instead, in human standard language. That got Dagmar's attention. The message was short, repeating every 60 seconds. Human vessel Wraith. This is Shieldcast Operative Karvas of the Merzan Collective. I seek parley. Respond on this frequency. No weapons. No deception. Dagmar counted to 30, ran threat assessment scenarios in his head. Could be a trap. Could be genuine. Either way, he needed information more than he needed caution. He opened a channel. Karvas, this is Lieutenant Dagmar, TDS Wraith. State your intention. Silence for 11 seconds. Then a voice. Deep. Resonant. Merzan vocal structure translated through synthesizers. The Concord has acted dishonorably. Your species was framed. The protocol activation was deliberate. War Principal Thexikal orchestrated it with High Arbiter Keln's approval. Dagmar kept his voice neutral. Why tell us? Because my caste values honor above orders. What the Concord has done violates every principle we hold. I will not participate in genocide disguised as self-defense. You're one ship, one operative. What difference does that make? I have intelligence, Concord fleet movements, tactical formations, weak points in their defensive perimeter, and I know their timeline. Dagmar leaned forward. Timeline for what? The Concord Armada advances in 3 hours. War Principal Thexikal's patience has expired. He will not wait for your surrender. He intends to sterilize Earth and Ceres simultaneously. 3 hours. Dagmar checked his chronometer, matched the deadline. What do you want in return? Asylum. When this ends, if your species survives, I request sanctuary. I am Shieldcast. I cannot return to the Merzan Collective. I am dead to them now. Dagmar made his decision. Transmit your intelligence. All of it. If it's legitimate, you have my word. 1 moment. The data came through. Fleet compositions, formation patterns, weapons ranges, shield frequencies. Dagmar's sensor officer analyzed it in real time. It's genuine, sir. This is current Concord tactical doctrine. Recent. Maybe hours old. Dagmar opened the channel again. Karvas. Follow us. Silent running. We're returning to Ceres. You'll deliver this intelligence directly to Commander Korf. Acknowledged. And Lieutenant? Yes? Your species fights well. It would be a waste to see you extinct. The channel cut. Dagmar set course for Ceres. Maximum burn. 3 hours until the Concord came. Commander Matthias Korf stood in the command center when Dagmar's transmission arrived. He read it twice, then pulled up the tactical display. The intelligence was devastating and useful. The Concord Armada would advance in a 3-pronged formation, Thalak dreadnoughts at center, Vrathari carriers on flanks, Kellorn cruisers providing support. Standard doctrine, overwhelming force, no subtlety. But Karvas had included something else. Shield rotation frequencies. The Concord rotated their defensive shields every 40 seconds to prevent harmonic disruption. There was a 6-second gap during rotation. Shields dropped to 60% strength. 6 seconds. Not much, but enough. Korf pulled Lieutenant Shar aside. Get me firing solutions on the Concord center formation. Target the Thalak dreadnoughts. I want every railgun and missile we have synchronized to hit during their shield rotation. Shar didn't question it, just nodded. Timing window? 6 seconds. We get one chance. Understood. Korf turned to his comm officer. Broadcast to all TDC vessels. Prepare for engagement. Defensive formation Theta 7. All batteries hold fire until my command. The command center shifted into combat readiness. Officers at stations. Screens updating with targeting data. Outside the viewports, 47 human ships moved into position. Frigates, destroyers, the heavy cruiser TDS Valdez anchoring the formation, against 87 Concord warships. Bad odds. Worse than bad. But Korf had fought worse. He checked the chronometer. 2 hours until the Concord advanced, 90 minutes until the Cairo launched, 72 hours until the drones overran everything. He pulled up the Cairo's trajectory one more time, watched the projected path arc across 65 AU. Voros and 17 Marines, against a moon-sized fortress, suicide mission with extra steps, but if they succeeded, the drones stopped. If they failed, humanity drowned in numbers. Korf closed the display, turned to the tactical screen. The Concord Armada sat at Jupiter, 87 ships holding perfect formation. In 2 hours, they'd move. And Korf would be ready. Captain Leon Voros strapped into the Cairo's command seat and ran final checks. 17 Marines secured in crash harnesses, every piece of equipment mag-locked. Reactor at standby. Run's voice crackled over comms from Ceres control. Cairo, you're locked into launch rails. Acceleration profile loaded. 40 Gs for 90 seconds. After that, you're ballistic. Voros keyed his mic. Understood. We're ready. Good luck, Captain. Luck's got nothing to do with it. Run almost laughed. Then the channel went silent. Voros looked back at his Marines. They stared back. Calm. Professional. They knew the odds. Knew what this mission was. Private Ruiz caught his eye, gave a small nod. Voros nodded back. Then the countdown started. 60 seconds. Voros felt the Cairo vibrate as the railgun's magnetic coils charged, a low hum building to a roar. 30 seconds. He gripped the armrests, took a breath. 15 seconds. The vibration intensified. His teeth rattled. 10, 9, 8. The world compressed. 40 gravities hit like a hammer. Voros felt his chest collapse. His vision tunneled. Blood pooled in places it shouldn't. The Cairo screamed down the rails. 4 kilometers in 90 seconds. Then silence. They were free, coasting, 0.1C and climbing. Voros gasped. Checked his readouts. Hull integrity solid. Reactor stable. Marines alive. He activated the internal comm. Status check. Sound off. One by one, his Marines confirmed. Bruised, battered, functional. 17 voices. 17 confirmations. Voros pulled up the navigation display. 65 AU to target. 3 days of flight. No turning back now. He settled into his seat. Watched the stars blur past. Behind them, Ceres Station grew smaller. Ahead, the Nexus Fortress waited. Voros closed his eyes, counted his ammunition one more time, then tried to sleep. The Concord Armada moved at the 2-hour mark exactly. Commander Matthias Korf watched the warships break formation at Jupiter and begin their burn toward Ceres. Slow, methodical, no rush. War Principal Thexacal wasn't gambling. He had numbers. He had firepower. He had time. Korf had 47 ships and spite. Lieutenant Shar stood at his shoulder. Concord fleet accelerating. Estimated arrival 14 hours at current burn rate. 14 hours. The Cairo was 2 days from the Nexus Fortress. Voros wouldn't hit his target before the Concord hit Ceres. Korf had known this. Planned for it. All vessels hold formation. Do not engage until they're inside effective range. Shar hesitated. Sir, their effective range is 3 times ours. I know. Let them think we're waiting to die. Korf pulled up the Merzan intelligence Karvas had provided. Shield rotation frequencies. 6-second vulnerability window. He'd built the entire battle plan around those 6 seconds. Synchronize all batteries to fire on my mark. Target the Thelok dreadnoughts. Hit them during shield rotation. 1 salvo. 1 chance. Shar nodded. Relayed the orders. Across the fleet, targeting solutions locked. Railguns charged. Missile pods loaded. Korf opened a channel to the TDS Valdez, the heavy cruiser anchoring their formation. Valdez Actual. This is Series Command. You're our hammer. Make it count. The response came back calm. Professional. Understood, Commander. We'll put them down. Korf closed the channel. Turned to his sensor chief. Where's Dagmar? Wraith just docked. Lieutenant Dagmar and the Merzan operative are en route to command. Send them straight here. 5 minutes later, Dagmar walked in. Behind him, shield-cast Karvas. The Merzan was massive, 2.5 meters tall. Amphibious skin glistening under station lights. Webbed hands. Eyes that didn't blink. Korf studied him. Karvas stood perfectly still. In Merzan culture, stillness meant respect. Korf nodded once. Karvas returned it. Commander Korf, I bring intelligence and a warning. Speak. The Concord underestimates you. Thexikal believes this will be a simple extermination. He has positioned his dreadnoughts at the center because he wants the killing blow for himself. Thelok pride. Yes, but pride creates weakness. His formation exposes his flanks. If you strike the dreadnoughts hard enough, the Vrthari and Kelorn will hesitate. They follow strength. Show them Thexikal is vulnerable, and their unity fractures. Korf pulled up the tactical display, showed the Concord formation. Here. He pointed at the Thelok center. Yes, concentrate fire there. Maximum damage in minimum time. The shield rotation gap is your opportunity. 6 seconds. 6 seconds to prove humanity is not prey. Korf almost smiled. We'll make it count. 65. AU out, the Cairo coasted through empty space at point 1C. Captain Leon Voros woke to alarms. His display flashed red. Proximity warning. Something was following them. He pulled up sensors. 3 contacts. Crescent-shaped. 8 meters long. Reaver drones. They'd launched from the Nexus Fortress. Interceptors. Voros keyed internal comms. All personnel, combat stations. We have company. His Marines moved fast. 17 men prepping weapons in 0 gravity. The drones closed distance. Faster than the Cairo. More maneuverable. Voros checked his options. The Cairo wasn't a warship. Minimal armament. 6 defensive railguns. No missiles. Against 3 adaptive hunter-killers. He opened fire at maximum range. The railguns spat tungsten. The drones dodged, learned, adapted. Private Cass manned the starboard battery. Tracked 1 drone, led the target. Fired. Hit. The drone shattered. Debris spinning into the void. 2 left. They split formation. Came at the Cairo from opposite vectors. Voros rotated the ship. Brought more guns to bear. The drones fired. Energy beams scorched the Cairo's hull. Armor plating held. Barely. Corporal Dane took the port battery. Waited. Counted seconds. Fired. Second drone gone. 1 remaining. It didn't attack. Just matched velocity. Paced them. Watching. Learning. Voros understood. It was reporting back. Sending tactical data to the fortress. Letting them know the Cairo was coming. He targeted it manually. Fired 3 batteries simultaneously. The drone evaded 2. The 3rd clipped its midsection. It tumbled. Damaged but functional. Then it quantum tunneled away. Gone. Voros exhaled. Damage report. His engineers responded. Hull breaches in sections 4 and 7. Sealed. Reactor stable. Weapons functional. They'd survived, but the fortress knew they were coming now. Voros checked the countdown. 48 hours to target. He turned to his Marines. They know we're here. It's going to get worse. No one responded. They'd known this was suicide from the start. Back at Ceres, Commander Korf received the update from the Cairo. Voros had encountered interceptor drones. Destroyed 2. 1 escaped. The fortress was preparing. Korf added it to the list of problems he couldn't solve. The Concorde Armada was 10 hours out now, closing steadily. Korf pulled up the firing solutions one more time. Every railgun, every missile, every weapon synchronized. He opened fleet-wide comms. All vessels. Target packages confirmed. Fire on my mark. Not before. Understood? 47 confirmations. Korf looked at the tactical display. The Concorde Armada advancing in perfect formation. Thexacal at the center. Dreadnoughts leading. Arrogant. Confident. About to learn why humanity didn't quit. Korf checked the chronometer. 10 hours until engagement. 48 hours until Voros hit the fortress. 72 hours until the drones overran everything. The math didn't add up to survival, but it might add up to making the conquered bleed. Korf settled into his chair. Let them come. Captain Leon Voros hit the Nexus Fortress at Point 1C with 17 Marines and 40 breaching charges. The Cairo's reinforced bow punched through the outer shell like a bullet through flesh. The impact rattled every bone in Voros's body. His crash harness bit into his shoulders. His vision went white. Then they were inside. The Cairo tumbled through internal structures, smashed through conduits, severed power lines, carved a kilometer-long scar through the fortress interior before slamming to a stop. Voros gasped, checked his readouts. Hull integrity, critical. Reactor, failing. Life support, 6 hours remaining. Didn't matter, they wouldn't need 6 hours. He keyed internal comms. Sound off. 13 voices responded. 4 Marines dead, crushed during impact. Voros unstrapped, grabbed his rifle. The Cairo's cargo hold had buckled, but the breaching charges were intact. Grab the explosives. We move now. His remaining Marines moved fast, each one carrying shaped charges, railgun rifles, sidearms. Voros checked the fortress schematics Run had provided. The manufacturing bay was 2 kilometers deeper. They had no time for subtlety. He blew the Cairo's rear hatch. Atmosphere vented. They moved into the fortress. The interior was massive. Corridors wide enough to drive ships through. Walls humming with power. Everything automated. No crew. Just machines. And drones. 3 Reavers appeared at the far end of the corridor, rotated toward them. Voros didn't hesitate. Fire! 13 rifles opened up. Tungsten rounds filled the corridor. The drones adapted, dodged, returned fire. Corporal Dane went down, energy beam through the chest. 12 Marines left. Private Cass threw a breaching charge. It stuck to a drone magnetically. Detonated. The drone shattered. 2 left. They advanced, learning, adjusting. Voros targeted the nearest one. Led it. Fired. 1 remaining. It retreated. Disappeared around a corner. Voros didn't chase it. Move. 2 clicks to target. Stay tight. They ran through corridors that had never been designed for humans. Automated defenses activated. Turrets dropped from ceilings. Fired. Private Ruiz took 3 hits. Died instantly. 11 Marines. They pushed forward. Voros checked his navigation. 1 kilometer left. More drones appeared. 6 this time. Too many. Voros made the call. Breaching charges. Set them here. Blow the deck. We go down. They placed charges on the floor. Shaped directional explosives. The deck collapsed. They dropped 3 levels. Landed hard. 8 Marines left now. 3 died in the fall. Voros checked his bearings. The manufacturing bay was directly below them. He could hear it. The rhythmic pulse of machinery. The hum of quantum processors. Drones being assembled, launched, repeated. 200 every 6 hours. Not anymore. Plant every charge we have. Synchronize detonation. 30-second delay. His Marines moved without question, placed shaped charges on support columns, power conduits, reactor feeds. Voros set the timer. 30 seconds. Exfil now. Back to the Cairo. They ran. 20 seconds. Drones appeared, blocked their path. Voros fired. His Marines fired. 10 seconds. They weren't going to make it. Voros knew it. His Marines knew it. He stopped running, turned to face the drones. Go, get back to the ship. Corporal Dane grabbed his arm. Sir, that's an order. 5 seconds. His Marines ran. Voros raised his rifle. The charges detonated. The manufacturing bay collapsed. Support columns sheared. Reactor feeds severed. The entire section imploded. The blast wave threw Voros into a wall. His armor cracked. His helmet shattered. He couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. But he could see the drones. They stopped moving. Froze mid-action. Their quantum link severed. The Nexus Fortress manufacturing core destroyed. 47 seconds later, they rebooted. But by then, Voros was gone. Commander Matthias Korf watched the Concorde Armada close to engagement range. War Principal Thexical's dreadnought at the center. The Talon of Dominion. 2 kilometers of Thalak, pride and firepower. Korf waited. The Concorde entered maximum weapons range, their plasma lances charged. Korf didn't order his fleet to fire. He waited. The Concorde advanced, confident, arrogant. Then their shields rotated. 6-second vulnerability window. Korf keyed fleet-wide comms. All batteries, fire. 47 human warships opened fire simultaneously. Railgun slugs moving at a significant fraction of light speed. Missiles with nuclear payloads. Everything humanity had. All of it aimed at the Thalak center. The first salvo hit during the shield gap. The Talon of Dominion's forward armor shattered. Secondary explosions rippled through her hull. War Principal Thexical's flagship listed. Bleeding atmosphere. Reactors critical. The Concorde formation wavered. Korf didn't give them time to recover. Second salvo. Fire! Another wave. Concentrated fire. The remaining Thalak dreadnoughts took catastrophic damage. 3 destroyed outright. 4 crippled. The Verthari carriers on the flanks hesitated. Their hive mind communication fractured, uncertain. The Kellorn cruisers stopped advancing. Shield-cast Carvus had been right. Show them weakness. Their unity fractures. But the Concorde still had 60 ships functional. And humanity had 43. Korf checked his ammunition reserves, depleting fast. This was going to cost everything. All ships, continuous fire. Do not stop until they break or we do. The battle became chaos, ships burning, hulls rupturing, the void filled with debris and dying light. The TDS Valdez took a plasma lance hit. Her reactor went critical. 1,200 crew. Gone. But she took a Verthari carrier with her. The fighting lasted 4 hours. When it ended, 17 human ships remained functional. The Concorde Armada retreated, 41 ships limping back toward Jupiter. Broken. Bloodied. Humanity had won, at a cost of 30 ships, 18,000 dead. Korf stood in the Ceres command center and watched the Concorde flee. His tactical display updated. Reaver drone activity across the system had stopped. The drones weren't attacking, just drifting, inert. The Cairo's mission had succeeded. Voros had killed the fortress. Korf closed his eyes. 18,000 dead. Voros and his Marines, gone. But humanity survived. He opened a channel to the remaining fleet. All vessels, stand down, cease fire. Silence filled the command center. Outside, the stars burned cold and indifferent. Korf pulled up the casualty reports, started reading names. It took 6 hours. 3 days later, Lieutenant Arvin Dagmar stood in Ceres observation deck and watched salvage teams recover what was left. Wreckage, debris, bodies floating in the void. Shield-cast Carvas stood beside him. Silent, respectful. Your species fought well. Dagmar didn't respond immediately, just watched the recovery operations. Finally, we didn't have a choice. You always had a choice. You chose to fight. Many species would have surrendered. Surrender meant extinction. Yes, but extinction while kneeling is easier than extinction while standing. Dagmar looked at the Merzan operative. Is that why you helped us? Karvas's skin shifted color, a Merzan expression Dagmar didn't understand. I helped because what the Concord did was dishonorable, and because I have seen enough species kneel. They stood in silence. Outside, the salvage teams worked, recovering the dead, counting the cost. Commander Matthias Korf sat alone in his office and stared at the casualty list. 18,000 names. Captain Leon Voros, Corporal Dane, Private Cass, Private Ruiz. All of them. The Concord had retreated, but they'd be back, with more ships, more firepower, and the Architect networks were still out there, waking up, spreading. Humanity had bought time, nothing more. Korf set the datapad down. His prosthetic hand clicked against the desk. Outside his window, Ceres Station hummed. Damaged, scarred, functional, like everything else humanity built. Broken but standing. He pulled up a star chart, showed the galaxy. Thousands of systems, millions of worlds. And somewhere out there, more Architect weapons waiting to wake. More species ready to see humanity extinct. Korf leaned back in his chair. Let them come. Humanity had already proven it could bleed the galaxy. Next time, they'd prove they could burn it. He closed the star chart, turned off the lights, and went to count ammunition.
Hey there, space human. I'm really curious about your thoughts on this video. Drop a quick comment and let me know what's on your mind. Or just say hi if you prefer. Either way, I'd love to hear from you. Also, remember to check the pinned comment. Trust me, it's worth a look. Oh, and one last thing. I've chosen another video for you to watch. Just click the card here, or here if you want the whole playlist. See you there.